Hey everyone. Sorry, I'm a little unprepared. I didn't realize it was so late. Hey, I got to get everything turned on here. So, hello everyone. Okay, hello. All right, let me get everything turned on here. Sorry, I just kind of zoned out, I think, for a minute, and I'm like, oh, it's 8 o'clock. There we go. Gonna need that. All right, how's everybody? A way to hide candy? Not really, but not how we're gonna do it. But you could add a little pocket on the back. That would actually be really cute. So you could hide candy that way. Absolutely. Thanks, Heidi. Yeah, I have a lot of fun. Okay, let's make sure perfect. Okay, good. That's working. Okay, so we are going to begin the night with our giveaway. Now, last week I came on, hopefully you can hear me. I should do this. Last week I showed y'all how to make the By Annie Call Me bag. And I put call to action, a call to action to have you guys make one of these. Remember, the pattern was free. It was super fun to make. I kind of walked through it. Um, Messed up at the binding stage, but I went back and I fixed it. It's in the kitchen. I forgot it. Um, but tonight, and then I had, if you made one, post a picture, right? And so everybody that posted a picture, you went into my very, very sophisticated bucket here, basket. So there it is, very sophisticated. And hey, Gary. Um, and I'm gonna pull two names tonight. I'll show you what you're gonna win here in just a moment. But since I am a little bit behind, I'm gonna grab a couple things here first. So we'll kind of, and then we'll talk about what we're going to make. Now, do I have a sample? No, because if you know me, which some of you do, you know I'm a fly by the seat of my pants type of girl. So I just didn't, I was having like maker's block. And so this morning, while I was getting ready for work, I figured out what we're going to do. So imagine an Easter egg shape. And what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you guys how to make a patchwork Easter egg mug rug. It's really easy, really, really easy. Oh, hey, Christina, of course I will. Um, so it's a it's it's a process that might take a few minutes because you got a little bit of going back and forth. But I know not too long ago someone asked me to do this and do something like this, and I just am now getting to it. So hopefully she will be on tonight. And again, we're just going to have a little fun. So I just want to make sure I get everything hooped real quick. When you see my hoop, for some reason I grabbed one of my Meridian hoops, so it's going to look a little different because it has little sensors on it. Don't worry about that. Do not worry about that because all the hoops are pretty much, you can use pretty much all on the same machine. Okay, now I'm happy. Got my batting. Okay, so again, if you're just joining us, welcome. Um, yes, the world's smallest skyscraper. I will never forget. Ever, ever, ever. It was so cool. Um, so yeah, so we're gonna make it in the hoop mug rug. But again, you can take this process and you can do whatever you want with it. Let's say you wanted to create quilt blocks in the hoop. You're going to be able to get a little bit of basics here to kind of build on top of that. So there's a couple other things I want to talk to you guys before we move on. Is in March, I'm going to be offering two mini classes. Usually, what that means is it'll be on like a Saturday, and these go by pretty quick. So it will be maybe like a 2-hour course. This is a pay class, so I will be teaching you how to make one of the classes is how to make this cute little card holder. So it's really easy, but it uses a lot of skills to learn IQ Designer. Super cute. You can choose any motif you want to. This was just one I used from our design suites. So very cute. So that's going to be one class. The next class will be how to create and make a zipper bag in the hoop. So we've got like this little guy here. Super easy, super pretty. And we used fills. We're basically just we're digitizing our own self, right? We're making our own in the hoop projects. So look out for those. They'll be up in the next couple days. The classes usually for something like that, it's probably going to be about $20 for the class. It'll be, I'll send you a Zoom link and we will stitch and sew together on that day. So it's a lot of fun. People who have taken them before have really given me a lot of good feedback on it. So it's really fun. All right, so let's get the giveaway out of the way. And you know, the people that got their name put into my little fancy bucket here, it may not be on here, but I'll get with you. So the first prize that I have is this really cute bee bag. And this is this a Moda one? I thought it was. No, it's a Ginger Bear. Ginger Bear? So it's really cute. It is from a sewing place. But anyways, look at all the beads. So it's like a little, you could use it as a clutch. You could use it to hide things, like fabric. So this is my first prize I'm giving away. So if you happen to be on here when I pull your name, just say yay. All right. So here we go. Who's the first victim? Sure, Heidi. Yeah. Yeah. By Annie has the best patterns out. Or, I mean, I shouldn't say that because there's so many people who have amazing patterns, but they have a great way of explaining things and their directions are amazing. All right. So for the cute little bag, that's going to go to who? Drum roll, please. Nancy, I'm going to say Jaeger, or I'm probably really mispronouncing that, but Nancy, you won the little bag. So if you're not on here, I will get with you and I will get your address so I can send that to you. Congratulations. Hey, Cindy. Now for the prize that everyone was super excited about was this beautiful Tula Pink Fat Quarter bundle. And this is the I always forget how fairy flakes, but it's the big fairy flakes. So it's so beautiful. I love this one. So I'm gonna give that away now. So if you're in here, say, hey, I'm here, I won. All right, here we go. Ready? Full name. Got a name? Let's set that down there out of my way, because if not, I will knock it over. Okay, let's see who won this. Yeah, me too, Cindy. I'm just a huge, huge, huge fan. And the winner is, if I can get it open, Debbie Everhart. Yay, Debbie. Awesome. Congratulations. So, if you're not on here now, I will get in touch with you. So, all right. Congratulations. Thanks for participating. Those of you who were able to. I haven't done giveaway in a long time, so I like to do them every now and then. So we will do some more. So, all right, let me set these aside so I don't forget where they're at. Okay. Oh, well, what are we going to make? Okay, so basically, let's picture this. We are going to take a egg shape And we are going to create multiple fabrics going down at an angle. So basically, we're going to be piecing a bunch of different fabrics. And when we build that in the hoop, you're going to see a bunch of lines, but it's all going to work, I promise. So what I have is just a random grouping of, these are all grunge fabrics. I have a jelly roll that I've been cutting off of for the longest time. So I use it for, I'll use pieces here and there for little things. So I've got like 5 colors. You can do whatever you want. And then I've got my back fabric. So my backing fabric are these cute little guys right here. And so what I cut, oh, I forgot this way. What is this way? Oh, let me measure. I have my 7. Okay, yeah, I cut a 7 by 9.5 inch piece. I cut it in half, where it's still 7.5, or excuse me, 7 lengthwise or widthwise. And then I took and folded under and pressed. I did use some sticky tape to hold it in place. Just one of the edges. Now I had to, thanks, Cindy. I had to look at my fabric and go, oh, this is directional fabric. So I wanted to make sure that when my backing's on, it is directional. Are the bunnies gonna match? No. But you could make a match if you wanted to. I don't have the brains for that. So we're going to take these 2 pieces. So you can see my folded edges on the bottom and one folded edge is basically on the top. So think about that if you're using directional fabrics. Okay, so we got these 2. I have got my strips of fabric. This is great for scrap. I was going to pull down my scrap bin and then I was like, no, I need to hurry up and get this done. So the next thing I have hooped is a piece of no-show mesh. And this is my 5x7 hoop. So I will be using my 5x7 hoop. I also have a little piece of batting. So let me start by saying, if you're new to the group and you're new here with me right now or watching later, we will be using IQ Designer to build this. So IQ Designer on the Baby Lox are built into the Destiny, the Altair Meridian, the Altair 2, the Meridian 2, and all of the Solaris machines. So then if you have the Brother-like machines, you have my design center. Guess what? You can do this project along with me. If you have Palette 11 software, you can do this project along with me. If you have digitizing software, you can do this project along with me. This is something that's super simple. Well, it's simple enough. We're not going to be using any fills today. Okay. Nancy, yay, congratulations. I will get in touch with you and get your address. Congrats. Yeah. So basically, you really can build this almost anywhere, especially if you don't have a machine that has IQ Designer. Maybe you have our software, Palette 11, which is a really fun software. You can do anything with it. So we're not going to use any fills today. We're just going to make this like a little quilty one. We're going to kind of step away from, using fills today, but we are going to build it using IQ Designer. So with that being said, and how long are my strips? I don't know. They're just random pieces. The longest one is like 10 inches. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to need all this, or need them this long. But always have a little extra just in case, a little extra length. Okay. So again, the backing pieces were 7 inches by 9.5. And then we cut it on the width, which is 7 inches. And we cut it in half. We folded the edges, 2 of the edges. So like bottom edge or top edge on each piece, just one edge, about 1/2 inch. And again, you can press it, you can use some glue to hold it in place, you can top stitch it. I just use some like fusible tape to hold mine in place. Okay, so now what we need to do is start building our design. Are y'all ready? How many fabrics you're going to use for the top piece is really up to you. I don't even know if I'm going to use all 5 colors. I have 5 colors here. I might just use it. Just kind of makes it a little easier. All right, so if everyone is ready, I am going to get my camera ready so we can just jump right onto IQ Designer and get started. So I will see y'all face to face in a little while. All right, there she is in all her glory. Okay, so I am using the Solaris, but remember, if you have a Meridian or an Altair, you can do this too. If you have a Destiny, you can do this too. It's really awesome. And again, the Brother-like machine can do this as well. Now, I always really love to work with a wired mouse. It just lets me have a lot of control. So you cannot use a wireless mouse, but you can definitely use a wired mouse. You can plug it right into your machine, and you can see here, you have so much control. It's wonderful. All right, so from the home screen, let me go home. We're going to click on IQ Designer. Now, there's one thing that I want to do, because I know I'm going to use my 5 by 7 inch hoop. What I can do is put that outline on my screen so I know when I'm designing, I'm not going to go outside of that. So to do that, we're going to go up to our settings. We're going to go to frame size. And it may look a little different on each machine, but it's the same process. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go and look for my 5 by 7. Boop. And then say okay. Now you can see on my screen, there's the shape of the 5 by 7. This will not stitch out. This is just a boundary line. Think of it as a boundary line. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to go over to our shapes key. And we're going to look for a shape that looks like a egg. So number 12, here we go. But if you're unfamiliar with this area, this part of your shapes, or this area of your shapes key, you have some basic shapes right up here. If I tap this guy, you have a little bit more artistic fun shapes, so you can really have a lot of fun with these. You can make appliques, you can really do whatever you want. The last one right here, or the next one right here, are more open shapes, so you have some fun things to play with here. But we're going to go to this one right here, and we're going to click on number 12. Yours may not be numbered. Don't worry about it. Just look for the egg shape. We're going to say okay. And it goes directly in the center of my screen. It is in the center of my 5 by 7, but that puppy is huge. I don't want it that big. Now, you can make it as big as you want, but I don't want it that big because I'm restricted to my fabric because I already cut it. So what I'm going to do is select size. And I'm going to shrink it down some. Maybe until about, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the top number, I'll have it at 5-ish. There we go. And maybe I want to make it a little bit squishier. So maybe not so wide. So I can always use my unproportional tools right here. So I can click on this one, and it'll shrink it in a little bit on the side, kind of give it more of a little bit of an egg shape. Again, you can play with this. Now, this is only going to be 3.67 inches wide. So let's take a look at that. So 3.5. So we've got 1, 2, 3.5. So it's going to be that wide. Yeah. Is that big enough for a coffee cup? It is, but maybe I want to go up here to my proportion larger key and just make it a little bit bigger. So you just play around with it until you seem happy with it. So I think I'm just going to leave it at this. Why not? All right, so I'm going to say okay, And the first thing that I'm going to do is save this. And why would I save this? Because I've changed all the sizing. I've changed everything, almost everything about it. So I don't want to have to remember all those numbers. So I am going to save it. So I'm going to go to memory. If you're on a Altair Meridian, possibly, I can't remember on the Destiny, you're going to look for a pocket that has an arrow going inside of it. So see this guy right here? It has a pocket going with an arrow going outside of it. We want a pocket that has the arrow going inside of it if you're on those machines. If you're on the Solaris, then of course it's going to be right here where it says memory, and then we're going to push machine. Perfect. Now we can play with it. So the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and change the, let me see if I zoom into two. Yeah, perfect. I zoomed in a little bit so you can see it better. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is change this line right here. I want to tell it what I want it to be. Now, let's think about this for a second. So when you first have a design in the very, very beginning inside of IQ Designer, it reads it like a artwork. So like a drawing. Some of us call it vector files, but don't let that confuse you. Don't worry about what it is. Right now, it's basically a drawing. So I've got to tell this line what to be. So I'm going to come over here to my line properties, right here. And I am going to come to this little piece of paper. I'm going to choose a color. I'm just going to do this dark blue so it shows up good for you guys. Oh, I'm sorry, I closed out too soon. And what I want to do is tell it that I want it to be a running stitch. And then say okay. Next, I'm going to turn on my bucket by clicking it. And I can take my finger, my mouse, whatever, and just tap my egg, and it'll change to the color that I selected. And basically, boom, I just digitized just by tapping on it. I'm a digitizer now. Actually, I'm not. I'm terrible at it. But I can darn sure use me some IQ Designer. I love it. It's so much fun. So, I'm just going to turn on. Make sure there's nobody. Okay. All right. So the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to start drawing some diagonal lines. It's going to be really weird, and that's okay. But what I want to do is go here to my, let me show you where I was at. We want to come back to our line properties, select the little piece of paper, and I'm going to select this little guy right here. Now notice I'm still on the running stitch and the same color blue. I'm fine with that for this first. So what I'm going to do is just randomly draw a line. So, oops, oh, I need to select this guy here. So all I have to do is click and hold and draw a line. Boom, done. Now I'm going to draw another line. Now, if I didn't like that line, all I have to do is go here to our little backwards button, click it, and it'll take it away, and I can draw a new line. So, okay, maybe I wanted it a little more like that. All right, next, I'm going to do another line. Maybe I wanted it in between there be a little bit thinner. Okay. Next, maybe the next one I want to be a little bit thicker. So that's 4 colors. I'm going to stay with that because there's going to be a piece of fabric here, piece of fabric here, a piece of fabric here, and a piece of fabric. So now what I'm going to do, again, is save this to memory. Okay, just because I can do that. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, since I saved that into memory, this is going to basically, and I could if I wanted to, and you can if you want to, come in with your eraser and shorten these lines up. They're going to be outside of it, and they're just going to tack everything down. So just go ahead and, if you do that, you're going to want to resave it. So remember that you're going to resave it if you do this, because it'll make a lot of sense. if you do. So I'm going to say okay, and then I'm going to save it again. I can erase that other one. All right. So now what we're going to do, this is basically showing me, or this is going to be like my placement stitch. We're going to call this a placement stitch. This is the first thing that's going to stitch out, and it's going to stitch directly onto my bab. So that way I know where every line is. So now what I'm going to do is go to next. Set okay. If you're on an Altair Meridian, you're going to hit preview okay, set okay. And there we go. So now we've got the very first part of our mug rug. So now what I'm going to do is select add. I'm going to go to IQ Designer. I'm going to recall that very last shape that we saved. So to recall, we use this key right here, which is the pocket with the arrow going outside of it. And mine's going to take a minute only because I have some dust on my screen and it's driving me crazy. This is going to take a minute only because I have a lot of designs saved. Yours, if you don't have a lot of designs saved, yours probably won't be like that. Okay, so I'm going to select this one right here. So let's tap on it and say okay. Now here's the thing. I'm sure there's another way of doing what I'm about to do. But I'm just going to do it my way. So I'm going to zoom in to 200%, and I'm going to grab, I'm going to select this guy right here. Okay, it's already on. I can tell because it's blue, so it's already ready for me. And what I'm going to do is down here, click, draw across, and try to get as much as I can without getting this line, this top line first. Then I'm going to cut. So I'm going to keep doing that. This is just a fast way of erasing what you don't need. You can totally use the little eraser, but you got to be careful with this one too. So you don't actually get, what you're aiming for. All right, so this just gets rid of things super fast. Okay. Now I only want this line to stitch out next. This is going to be, so I have my placement line. I'm going to lay my two fabrics that are going to be right sides together on top of it. So let me pretend here. So I've got one fabric and then the two fabrics together, right sides together. And I'm going to lay this over with about a 1/4 inch hanging over the edge. It will stitch. What I want is to make the stitch that's going to stitch here so I can take these and flip them over like that. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so So now I want to get rid of this part here. So again, I can grab as much of it as possible with this guy. That's not a lot, but now I also can go to my eraser. I like to use a little square, and I'm going to erase anything underneath. And I just saw what I did. Let me zoom in here. So when I went to erase, I'm going to zoom in really good. You definitely want to be careful of this when you're erasing. Do you see that little hole that I made? So it is always a good idea to zoom in when you're erasing. So I'm going to select the back button so it pops back up, turn my eraser back on, and now I can go and gingerly get rid of that line. I don't want to get rid of the outside line. I can get rid of this right here and hold my breath. There we go. I was just checking it. Now I'm going to kind of come over here. And is this a lot of work? Heck yeah, it is. But it is, what you're doing is you're learning how to use tools. All right, it'll go by quick once you start playing with it. Let's go down here. We're going to grab our eraser. Now, if you are uncomfortable with the using the eraser that big, you can actually turn it down. So now I have a smaller eraser to work with, and I'm going to take a breath. There we go. Whew. And then I'm going to another breath. Whew. That's good. All right, so now I'm going to zoom back out to 200. Oh, it didn't. Let's center it and then zoom in to 200. So this is going to be my first tack down line. All right. So I am going to now, I could save this just in case. Let's save it. Now what I'm going to do is go to my line properties and I'm going to select this guy right here. It's a running stitch. For some reason it turns off. I don't know why. And I'm going to select a different color. And I'm going to use my bucket and I'm going to tap on it. Then I'm going to select next, set OK, preview, or set OK. If you're Solaris, other machines are going to be preview OK, set OK. And it's right there, right where I need it to be. Let's zoom in. Perfect. Right where I want it to catch. Now, what we'll do is we'll take that fabric, fold it over to here. So our next line is going to be this one that we need to turn into a tack down. But we're actually going to do it twice because when we fold this down, this fabric down, what we want to do is have a stitch it down so we can trim a 1/4 inch away from it. And then we'll put another piece of fabric on top of that one, have another stitch, and then we can flip it and then do the same thing on this one. I know it sounds weird right now, but we've got this. We've got this. So we're going to select Add IQ Designer. We are going to recall our egg. And we're going to select this one. That's my first line. And that's just saving it just in case. Or, well, if you want to make another one, but you can always, when you're done with this, you can save it to your embroidery side and never have to design it again. So we're going to go 200. Now I'm going to erase everything except for this line right here. So, oops. Oh, good job, Anna. There we go. I'm going to make sure that's on and click here. And I'm just going to start taking chunks of it off, as much of the chunk as I can. It just, to me, makes it a little bit quicker. The only thing you want to make sure of is, can you see that little dot right there? If you see any of those, make sure you get them. If you don't, guess what happens? Yep, it will stitch out. All right, so again, I'm going to get rid of some of the stuff on the top. I just want that middle line. And see how you can make different, you can have different, or a bunch of lines. You can make this a cute little rainbow one, or, you know, something similar, whatever you want to do. This is going to be your baby when you're making it. Okay, so now I'm going to get my eraser and I can zoom in. I'm going to pan around and I'm just going to start erasing these guys. I don't want to erase the line. I'm going to zoom in. It's just so tedious. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We're going to come here and I'm using the corner of that square. I know. There we go. Now I'm going to go to the bottom of it. We're going to do the same thing. Get rid of all this junk here. Take a breath and get rid of that one. We're going to do the same thing here. And you see why I'm only doing 3 lines, because this, you really could get deep with this, but I don't want y'all to get bored. So I'm only doing 3 lines. Okay. Let's center it and zoom back in. So this is going to be a running stitch again. So we are going to go to our line properties, select running stitch, and select a different color now. So I'll say this purple. I'm going to tap on the bucket and then tap on the design. And then what I do want to do again is save to memory. Again, you can erase this later, but you'll thank me later, I promise. So we're going to select next. And we're going to you're either going to see there's something up there. I don't know what's going on. I'll probably have too much thread happening right there, but that's okay because that's going to be outside the line. Okay, so we're going to go set okay, or you're on the other machines, preview okay, set okay. And it's going to come right here. So now we're right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to just zoom in so you can see it. It is sitting on top of this middle line right now. It's kind of hard to see, but this is it right here. Let me show you a trick, a really quick and easy trick to make, let's say I need this line to first stitch this fabric down, hold it in place. I'll trim a little bit, and then I'll place another fabric on top of that, right sides together, in order to flip it over. So I'm going to need another stitch or another line. So I can either go all the way back out to IQ Designer, or with this line selected, which is this purple one right here, we're going to go to Edit. We're going to duplicate it. It will set off a little bit. We will have to move it. That's fine. I got tools. But what I'm going to do is come to this color chip, and I'm going to select a color, change that particular one. Oh, did it select the other one? It did. Let me go back real quick. Boop. All right. So we're going to go to our color chip. We're going to select the last one, which is this one right here. Okay. So just tap on it there and select a different color. There we go. Now we're going to say okay. And you can see it right here. So what we need to do is move that on top of this guy here. So we're going to select our move key and watch this. If I go straight up, do you see how it's skewed? It made it go up and over. We don't want to do that. So what you want to do is use this guy right here. Now, can you pick it up with your mouse or your finger and move it? Sure. I just don't do that. It's tedious for me. I can never get it in the right spot. But some of you may be really good at that. So you can do it however you want. Now you see I have put that directly on top. Perfect. So now all we need to do is get this one right here. We're almost done with the design process. So we're going to go to Add, IQ. We're going to recall this. And guys, I told you, I thought about this in my head this morning and I have not done this yet. So I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But I have a knowledge of, because I've practiced so much on IQ Designer, even if you just practice on it, you're going to be able to shoot things out left and right, just like all of us do in the education team. That's how we learn. We press buttons. I love to press buttons. My husband said I would probably press the end of the world button because it was pretty and shiny. So we're going to select OK. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of everything except this line. We're almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure this is highlighted. I am going to, and of course I can zoom in if I want. Oh, wait, I'm doing the wrong one, right? So I got a little discombobulated. So let's go and grab as much of this top one as we can. Let's see here. How much can I get that? Boom. Boom, boom. And I'm going to get some of this bottom one as much as I can. Because then I can just go erase. So I'm going to zoom in, move it over. Now, speaking of moving, those of you who have Solaris have this, what we call a pan. If you are on the Altair Meridian, you're going to have a box up here with a little red box. You just take that little red box and move it around and it'll bring you to where you. All right, so I'm going to grab my eraser. I will get as much as I can there. I'm even going to go in more. Oh, and then come down. Now let me show you something cool. I'm going to go all the way up to 16%, just so you can see that everything that you're doing is a pixel. So that means this little square. Now, if you zoom in really close and you go all the way down to 1, you can actually tap on each of the squares and erase them that way. So let's say you're doing something very fine and minute. Then you want to use this. So that way you don't accidentally, with the big one, go like this, start breaking things up. So to fix that, I'm just going to go back here. And I'll get rid of these two right here. Perfect. Now I need to do it down at the bottom, I think, right? Did I already do it down there? I don't think. Let's see, it's going to be a surprise because I can't remember. Oh, okay, there we go. So we need to get rid of that guy. I'm going to make it bigger here. There we go. And I am going to use the corner of this. Take a breath and just knock one of those pixels out. Maybe. I was going to, but I'm just not going to chance it anymore. All right. So now I'm going to come here and do the same thing. Perfect. There we go. So that's my last line. So what do I want to do now? I want to go to line properties, select running stitch, and then select a color. And say, okay. We're going to grab the bucket, tap directly on it. Hopefully y'all can see it. So we're going to select next. Oh, wait. We're going to save that just in case. We're going to select next, set, okay, or if you're on the other machines, preview, okay, set, okay. And that's going to be directly right here. So now we're going to go to edit. We need to do the same thing that we did to the second one. So we're going to go to edit. So you guys can see what happened. Okay, we're going to go to duplicate. It's going to put one off to the side. We're going to go to our little color chips. We're going to scroll all the way down. So we get to the very last one and tap on that. And let's go find a different. All right, fine. All right, let's do like this color blue here. Okay, so now it changed. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to zoom back in just so I can see what I'm doing and go to move. Remember, we're going to use these keys right here. Boom, right on top. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to say okay. Almost done. We have one more step. We're going to go to add, IQ Designer. We are going to recall like I said, mine takes a minute. She's overworked. And I am going to grab the very first one I say, this guy right here, and say okay. And I am then going to go to line properties. You guessed it. We're going to select the, now you could do either one of these two. You could either do the running stitch or the triple stitch. Triple stitch is just going to really seal it in. So basically the reason why I'm picking the same egg shape and a stitch, obviously, is because we are going to put the backing, those two backing pieces on. They're going to be on the top of the hoop, not underneath. If you're used to doing it that way, we're going to do something a little different. So it's up to you. For time purposes, because I know this one takes a little bit longer, I am actually going to select this one and select the color. I'm going to say okay. I'm going to turn on my bucket. tap my egg, and then select next. Now we're going to do set OK or preview OK, set OK. And it's going to be directly on top there. Now I'm ready to embroider. This is my egg. And if you can't picture it yet, just watch. You're going to see what's going to happen. It's going to be super stinking cute. So we're going to go to embroidery. And I'm going to save this to memory because I think I could make a bunch of these for little gifts, you know. Okay. What I do need to do is I did not put any embroidery thread on. So let's do that. And I'm going to pick a color that you all can see because we are not going to we're not going to have any stitches. Can we see that? Oh. I mean, like y'all can see that. I think we can probably see that. Okay. So I'm going to put this on real quick. At least I have my embroidery bobbin in. I do know that. Uh-oh. Anna, you losing stuff? Oh my goodness, where's my paper? Oh, there it is. I see it. I was looking for my spool holder. Okay, I'm just going to thread my needle real quick, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. It's almost kind of like quilt as you go a little bit, not really. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to slide my hoop on. And then I'm going to take my piece of batting. So I just have a big old honking piece of batting. And I'm just going to center it in the hoop, just right over it. Just like that. And then I'm going to let it do what it's supposed to. I need to thread my needle. And the first stitch is going to be, basically, we're going to call that the, I don't know, placement stitch, outline stitch. I don't know. So here we go. This is only really supposed to take about 2 minutes, apparently. That's what it's telling me. So it's doing the, it's just going wherever it wants to, which is fine. Any questions as we're waiting? So see, there's the shape. And I'm gonna pick what colors? We'll do purple, pink, and teal. I'll leave that funky green out. How do I want? Okay. So I'll put the purple down first. So for this, what I'm going to do is go ahead and place the purple down, but I'm going to overlap it across that line about 1/4 of an inch. And this is my right side will be up, okay? Then I'm going to take my next fabric and I'm going to put right sides together. And let me see it. It looks like my needle is going to, maybe I need to go a little bit further down. So I am going to select start. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I'm glad I pulled it down a little bit. All right. So, okay, let's see what's going to happen next. So I'm going to open this. Here we go. Press it flat. If you have a roller, you can roll it down flat. Just be careful of the needle and stuff. You could do that. You could take it off, take the hoop off, not it out of the hoop, and take it to the iron and press, but this is going to be fine. So we're going to start. So the next one's just going to show us where our next piece of fabric's going to overlay. Oh, I guess I'll need 4, my bad. But before I move on, find my applique shears, I am going to trim this piece. So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to trim this piece about 1/4 inch away from that stitch line. So I could come in here from this angle, is probably good. And you're going to see my scissors here in a moment. There she is. So I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch over. Oh, I'm getting too far up. I think I'm getting stuck. There we go. Usually I would take this off. And I'm very sore today, so I'm silly, and I decided I would get both my COVID and my flu shot yesterday. So I have not felt it all day. I have been sore. Okay, that is ugly, Anna. Let's clean that up. But like I said, normally I would take this off and okay, there we go. We're going to pretend like that's a pretty seam, and we're going to take our next color and we're going to align it with the edge just like that. So now it's going to tack it down. Now the running stitch always goes twice. We get asked if we can change that or stop it. The only way you can is if you stop it. You physically stop the machine. So no. All right, so I'm going to get this piece, pull it under. Look, we're creating patchwork. Look at there. Look at you. Okay, this, and like I said, this is almost like what do you call it? Quilt as you go. Almost, not quite. All right, so here's my other piece. I'm now going to create this line. And I guess I'll put this yellow here. It's pretty bright, but it'll be fine. Yeah, Birdie, I don't know. It really did not make me feel good. So this morning I was just not having it. And I had to work. And my body hurts. So I don't know. All right, I am gonna take it off here. So some people are better at tolerating it than some, other people. So, okay, so I'm going to just trim about 1/4 inch. And when I get my scissors out of the way or my hands out of the way, you'll see this is a lot better than the other one. I mean, not really, but kind of sort of in a way. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to slide it back on and I'm going to put this yellow down. I wish I had a lighter yellow, but this is the only. Okay, so we're going to put that down. Put that down. All right, so this is the last part of the piecing. Awesome. Now what I'm going to do is just fold this piece over. And now we have, seriously, like East in the Hoop. Look at there. I love it. So I will kind of smooth that down a little bit. Good. All right. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put my backing pieces on. Now, I always make a envelope back for these type of things. I don't do it where you leave a little baby opening and try to flip everything out and pull through. That annoys me. So no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see where the bottom of this is. So it's right there. And I'm going to take the first piece. I'm going to kind of do it this way. I just want y'all to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this piece and lay it down with it right sides touching. So I want to make sure that I am covering that. Perfect. And I'm just going to span it across the hoop there. Then I'm going to take Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I want to do this backwards. I want to take the top piece. I want the top fold to be hanging out. So I'm going to start here. Let's make sure where is my, yeah, I got plenty of room. All right. And now I'm going to put this piece. Now I want it to overlap about an inch. So we want it to overlap about an inch. And let me show you what that looks like. So here we go. Just like that. Now what I'm going to do, and this, you can do whatever you like to do here, but I am very protective of my machine. I'm very protective of my projects. I know that I do things kind of slack sometimes, but I never do it slack here. Because if you take a piece of tape and you cover this ridge here, basically this opening, what's going to happen is I even want to put a piece here. If I left that, the foot could get caught in there. To see that? So what that can do is throw your machine out of timing. So basically it can catch, get caught, throw things everywhere. And number one, I'd rather have my project come out pretty the first time rather than having to dig it out, unstitch it all, then redo it. So I will be a little protectful and wasteful. All right, so there we go. All right, so, and it holds it down. So basically this is what it looks like. All right, let's watch it do its magic. Ready? I'll just hold this up for you. See how it rode right over that opening. It rode right over that opening. Now it's going to go back. And my foot didn't get caught at all. I do not have to redo things. I love that. You know, over the many years I've been doing this, I've learned so many tricks. And this is probably one of the best ones. So, okay. So now what I'm going to do is unhoop it, take it out of the hoop, and I'm going to cut it in front of you, but we're going to switch camera views. All right. So we're almost there. All right. So I have it here. I'm going to push that down and then kind of sit back a little bit. So I'm just going to open up the hoop and take my design out of the hoop, just like this. Now what I'm going to do is take a pair of scissors and I'm going to trim about a 1/4 inch to an eighth of an inch to a 1/4 inch around the outside. It depends on you, what you like. I do like it a little smaller. But, and also I do want my turning tool. So this is, I use the R&K turning tool because it has a little ball in the bottom and you're less apt to push hole or like push through the stitching. All right, so I'm just going to quickly trim this up and or trim it away and I'll show it to you guys. Come on. So basically it's a lot of layers to go through, but it works. All right, so there we go. Now I've got it started. So you can see I'm just cutting about, I prefer the smaller, so about an eighth of an inch away from the stitch line. And that means away from the outside of the stitch knot line, not inside. Let's cut a chunk of that off. Yeah. Now, of course, you could make this bigger into a hot pad. You could put some of the Insulbrite in there, make it a hot pad. You could do whatever you wanted with it. I think this is kind of cute. This will be cute. Almost done there. Oh, that was a big chunk there that did not want to get. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to take my tape off. You could have taken that off in the beginning. There's no reason why I really didn't. So let's go here. Take that off. Mm. This tape, I love this tape. It's like my favorite. It's the R&K Embroidery Perfection tape. It's so sticky. All right, so here's my envelope. So all I'm going to do is turn it inside out. Okay, so I've got the bottom part. Now I'm going to do the top part. Pretty cute. Oh, that is cute. I wouldn't want to do it in better fabrics, but, or, cuter fabrics. Okay, so I'm just going to take this guy here and just run it around the edges to smooth it out. And you can leave the opening, the envelope in the back if you can leave it open if you want. It's going to do that. It's up to you. Or you can take like fusible tape or glue or hand stitch it, whatever you want to do, and just kind of set it. All right, y'all, there's my egg. So what I would do next is take it over to my ironing station. I would press it good. Yeah, I love grunge too. I would press it really good. You could use a little bit of starch. And then what I would do is, and I'll probably do on this one, is do a top stitch on the eighth, about an eighth of an inch away from the edge. And it just gives it a cute little look. So, oh my gosh. Hey, it turned out really cute. From not having to do it before, or not having made this before. I'm pretty proud of her. But you could make a bunch of mug rugs to put in baskets or Easter gifts or whatever you want. But basically, really what I wanted you to learn today is about the piecing in the hoop, how you do that. So it's a pretty fun process. And once you get it down, you're going to be like knocking it out. Now, do you have to do it diagonally? Heck no, you can do straight up and down. Let me show you another project that's like that I may teach. So, okay, this is a notebook holder. So you can see that we pieced in the hoop here. I have two different fabrics right here. So it's, it's whatever you want to do. So any questions? Okay. Let me get rid of this stuff now. Put these up. That hurts. All right. Well, I guess that's all right then. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. Yeah, make some, post them. I love to see what y'all make. But a bunch of these would be really cute. Or even on like the table, your what do you call it? Oh, your like dinner table, for Easter. You could actually make these in like really pretty, like nice soft colors, and they would still be beautiful. So you can put a little bow up here, do whatever you want. So, okay. If you make some, please post them. I love to see what you make. So see, there's the back, and I'll close that. Usually I use like a either glue. I have fallen in love really quickly with I know. It's not a sewing tool, but using Elmer's clear glue for things. So try that out. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again for joining me tonight. I really appreciate you all. The winners of the giveaway, I will get in touch with you, get your address, preferably tonight if I can get it, so that way I can get it out tomorrow. Yeah. So if you have any questions, always let me know. If you want to see something being done, just let me know. Just type it up in the group, and then that way I can see what you all would like to make. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your week, and I will see you next Thursday. Let me grab that. Okay, so I'll see you all next Thursday. Remember, shop local, shop small, and I'll see you guys later. And remember, it takes me a minute to figure this out. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.